So I just got back from a stroll out in the backfield just to kind of see the sunset and just to kind of clear my mind a little bit and try to develop some sort of focus for this year's big trip. Because this year's trip is a lot different from all the other years. This year we are headed to the Gaspésie region of Quebec, otherwise known as the Gaspé Peninsula. For me, normally when I go into one of these trips, I have a very, very clear idea of why I'm going there and what I'm going to find and how I'm going to approach it. And I have a story in the back of my mind that I've usually built up by doing some sort of research in history into the area. I have none of that. And I've been struggling a lot to try to find an exact reason to go there. And I have an idea, I have a concept, I guess, a very, very bare bones, very little high level concept of what I want to do. And I do have a story that I'm tracking, but it's a very thin one. And its relatability to the overall concept and the overall mission is kind of loose, to be honest with you. But before I get too much into that, why don't we hit the maps and take a look at what we're actually getting ourselves into this year. So this is the Gaspé Peninsula. It sits just north of New Brunswick here and just up to the northwest of Prince Edward Island, which is down around this area here a little bit, just off the map. This whole area is like an enormous Cabot Trail. First day is going to be a bit of a long haul, and it's going to be all in New Brunswick. We have approximately, 6 or 7 hours of riding before we even get to this location. Once we move into Quebec, we're going to be going up along some of the highway routes just in general, just to get us started. But after that, we're going to hit the Trans-Quebec Trail. Now, the Trans-Quebec Trail runs us all along the coast, but also dives us into these mountainous regions that are going to be in the interior of the Gaspé Peninsula. And what I'm hoping to see out of all of that is just some really, really cool coastal vistas from up at higher altitudes, have some really awesome climbs and some really good descents. But overall, I'm thinking this trip is going to be pretty close to 50-50 dirt and asphalt. And that's the way I like it. I don't want to have too much dirt and I don't want to have too much asphalt because I want to be excited in both ways. And I think the Gaspé Peninsula is going to be able to offer that no problem at all. The mission this year, quite a bit different than last year. And the year before that, and the year before. So far on these big trips, we've gone after, old legendary gold mines. We've gone after a witch, gone after a UFO. And this year, we're going after a ghost. While I was attempting to do a little bit of history on some of the stories of around the Gaspésie and failing miserably, I did see something that came up quite a few different times along the coastal regions. The idea of this castaway maiden singing a song from the ocean, calling mariners out towards her. Something of a cross between a ghost and a siren almost. And seeing that over and over again kind of piqued my interest a little bit into it, and I started digging a little bit deeper, and I found the story of Marguerite and the Isle of Demons. Now, this whole story has got a lot of angles to it, and I won't spoil it all today here for you. I'll explain it a bit as I kind of ride through this and kind of learn a little bit more as I go, pretty much. But the idea is that long, long time ago, she was on a voyage with somebody, and she was marooned on an island, and she was left there. And allegedly, she died. And now her song calls out to other mariners in a bit of an air of revenge to kind of bring them back out to her, or maybe to bring her home. Or who knows if any of that is even true. That's going to be our job, I think. Our mission this year is to follow the song of the siren, to find whatever we can along this coast, to draw inspiration and learn a little bit about the Gaspé Peninsula as we ride through it, and hopefully derive some sort of meaningful reason to go to this area. Just like every season, Island Riders. I always try to find a reason to go there while I'm there. If I have a reason to go there before I go, then I seem to get I feel like I get tunnel vision, And I feel it's kind of cool, if we go there together and we kind of come upon the reason on our own a little bit, spontaneously. It's very neat. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's take a look at the gear. We got to get the gear sorted out. I have this huge list. I've got it all checked off. I think I've got everything. I'm probably missing a couple things, but we'll go take a look at the loadout here for this year, and I'll show you a little bit of changes that we have. All right, quite a few things on the floor this year. This always seems to get a little bit bigger every year. I don't know if it's me. I think it has more to do with the fact that we keep making the trip bigger every year. Last year it was 5 days, this year is 7 days. We keep stacking it up, trying to build ourselves a little bit more experience before we jump off into something that's really, really huge. One of the things that we have to contend with on this trip is rain. We will be tested by the rain. We were tested by the rain a little bit last year, and we had to ride through a lot of thunder showers and a lot of consistent downpours. But this year we're definitely going to get into it. And we can't avoid it. There's no postponing the trip because of rain, because it's gotten to the point where if we're going for 7 days, we're going to run into rain anyway. There's no avoiding it. It's just weather. Weather happens, so we're going to go for it. Anyway, let's take a look at the kit. We'll go right through it. So yeah, like I mentioned, there's quite a bit of new things here to consider. So let's take a look at it. We'll start right over here with the sleep system. Number one, where's the mattress pad? It is gone. We have the tarp, the big wood tarp I used to use for my hammock. I'm bringing it along. And I was talking about the rain, right? So this is one of those mitigation strategies. If we ever get caught in a really bad downpour, the plan for me right now is just kind of pull over, find a wild camp, shelter in place, and put up a really good shelter using this. Inside of this, I've got my tent. All the tent pegs are in there and everything. But the reason I don't have the mat anymore is because I have a really cool new air mattress. It's just a little bit of a big air mattress, but the reason why it's bigger is because it's quite insulated. And the reason why I have it insulated is because I want to use it with the hammock. Now I already did test out the hammock with the air mattress out in the woods back there in the backfield, and it looks and works pretty good. It's actually super comfortable, which is one of the goals that I have for this year. Every year in my camp, I have like a camp goal. Last year was cooking, try to cook some steaks. This year, get a good night rest, or at least, at least 4 out of 6 nights. I think this is gonna help me quite a bit. And hidden inside of our sleeping bag up here, I actually have an air pillow too. It's the first time I brought a pillow. Normally what I do is I'll take my hoodie here and make it into a little bit of a pillow like that and use it, but you know what, that only gets me so far. Of course I have my hat, I have a set of next of skin plus a changeout for socks and underwear for obvious reasons. This is a complete changeout. This is like a full, basically set of clothes that I wear while I ride. And what I wear when I ride is basically like gym shorts and like dry spec type or like dry fit type clothing. Another rain mitigation, this is a rain set. So this is the just the basic rain cover here from my tank bag. And inside I have a rain suit on the top. I don't have the bottom because I don't have the space on the bike for both. I have to start at this point trading things out because the bike can only hold so much stuff. I can't load it down with all the kit that I want to have because at that point it just becomes cumbersome. And if the bike becomes too weighted and too cumbersome, then I won't be able to attack the trails that I really want to find. So I found last year that when we were riding through the rain, the first thing that dried was our pants. So the pants are out. Other things here, knickknacks, cool little stuff. These are some cool things. Check this out. I got this from a buddy I met in Martin Head.
I'm Paulo. I'm riding a DR650.
Lamp. And neat. You just set it down, chill, hang it in a tree. Very cool thing. I love this thing. It's like such a quick little $20 buy off Amazon, but it's great. Also, something else that's really cool. I bought I don't know how well this is going to work. This is just kind of for funsies, really, but I bought a flint. Really cool, eh? We'll see. I've got some other cool things I'm going to show you with this here too. This is awesome. I got this from my mother-in-law, Rose. Thank you so much, Rose. This is a tick remover. I got a tick remover because last year in Nova Scotia, I got like 2 ticks. So luckily for me, I don't have Lyme disease, but this year if I spot one, instead of just brushing it off, I probably, use this and try to save it. Headlamp, always. Paracord, definitely. Ablutions kit. Always got to have this. This is all the stuff that I do for washing up and things. This is a luxury item. This might get thrown out. This is just a speaker for us to have some fun in camp. Bug spray for sure, definitely. We've got the old camp chair back for another year, but brand new to us since last year, so I'm excited to use that again. It was really good last time. Some other stuff here too. We just have a towel, body glide, of course. Keep the chafing away. Some sandals there for the showers and the campgrounds. A couple battery packs. This guy's back for another year. Again, this is supposed to be solar powered. If you didn't know from last year, we found out it's not a really great solar power system, so it still holds a heck of a charge though. More tools. I got a new hatchet now. I got this one. This is actually super light and it cuts some good wood and it's got a bit of a splitting angle on it too, so that was going to be really good. I found the hatchet that I had last year was not really great for chopping up wood in camp, so we've got that. Hopefully we'll have some fires. Trusty knife. These two bags are really important. We have the first one here, which is our first aid bag, and then we have a recovery bag. So this bag includes an air compressor. It includes a clutch lever, a clutch cable, and a tow strap, and air pressure gauge. And that all goes along with a front tube. So in case we run into any tire issues, I'm confident we can solve it with what we've got here. In addition to that, I have my full tool set, which is actually pretty robust, so I've got lots of stuff there for that too. You always hear me talking about water and how I don't drink enough of it. Well, on our trip this year out to New Brunswick, I used the Camel Pack and it was excellent. I actually found that I was really hydrated on that trip, so this is definitely coming along. In addition to that, we have our water for camp, and I'll be having bottled water too, just at every stop that we make. I'm gonna try a couple of these things. Ready-made meals, we got a lasagna, we got a chili. I don't know how well they're gonna work out, but I'll check them out, I'll let you know. Cooking is not the goal of this year, but you know what, we got the Mr. Noodles, we got this, we should be all right. The cook set will help us out quite a bit too. We have the coffee kit over here at the top with the jet boil, my favorite little coffee mug, a little bit of a butane stove adapter here for my big fuel. And then I have my little cook set, and this worked really, really well, despite being like one of those El Cheapo Amazon things. And as far as the fire is going, when I was mentioning over there, I have these guys. Homemade fire starters. I've been making these since high school, and they work really, really good. I'll show you how to make them sometime. Maybe not tonight, maybe along the trip, who knows. But I'll show you, remind me. And I'll do an episode about it or something like that, maybe a channel update or something. They're really, really effective. We used them every camp last year, and yeah, they hold up. This is good. I got a little bit more space in the tank bag, which I like to have. There's two areas that I like to have a little bit of extra space in. One, the tank bag, and two, the top bag. And that's because these are the most readily accessible pieces of luggage that I have on the bike. So I want to throw some things in. I put the batteries here for all the cameras and stuff, obviously, right? Because I'm always changing out batteries. I've got the power supply and everything that feeds off the bike to get charged up is here. I have supplies when we head to, like, you know, the grocery store or whatever before we go into camp. I usually throw the supplies in there. And I guess that's something that I don't really ever talk about when I pack the bike up for every big trip, is like kind of my method to all the different things that I'm putting here, why I put certain things in a certain place. There is a bit of a method to it. Number one, cooking stuff goes on the non-exhaust side, because that's where all the fuel is, right? So the exhaust side gets really, really hot. And if your fuel heats up and it's bouncing around and it's pressurizing, the pressure adds to the heat, right? So all of a sudden, bam, you know, it goes kaboom on the side of your bag. So clothes on the exhaust side, cooking right here on the non-exhaust side. Some other things that I do that are a little bit unique to me, maybe to me, but not. Oh yeah, the first aid always goes right on top right here and is always marked with, like, you know, the cross. So if ever, you know, one of us wipes out, or if I wipe out or something, this is always like this. And I'm unresponsive on the side of the road and someone runs up to me, you know, universally they know that the first aid is in here and they can get at it right away. My first aid's super basic. I've got two field dressings in there, Army field dressings. That'll stop like all sorts of crazy bleeds. You know, it's got some basic stuff like Advil in there too, but it's got a little bit of some dressings, some bandages and stuff like that. Anything to pretty much take care of, like, it'll do the job. It's not the craziest first aid. I don't have enough space on the bike to have like a really ridiculous first aid. But you know, if we ever had an issue, we would activate EMS immediately. Other cool things, everything gets waterproofed regardless. If it's in a waterproof bag sort of area or not, except for the cooking. None of this is waterproof, except for the food, of course. But all of this has not got a dry bag in it. And that's just because it's cooking stuff, right? It can get wet all at once. It'll just make it cleaner. But everything in the clothes side, that's on this side over here, that's all gonna get waterproofed. The bottle bags. Actually, cool little tip. One of our island riders mentioned to me that you can get really crazy big bottle bags. I think they go with the Tusk Olympus set, but he can hold like 2-liter bottles of pop in there. soda. That's really, really cool. But I just got the 1 liter guys here, but I keep them on the front. I know that Rocky Mountain ATV, when they do their videos and stuff, they say to put the bottle bags on the back, but I like to put them on the front because if they're on the back and they fall off and they're flying off the road, I won't be able to know as easily. But if it falls off here, it's probably going to hit me in the back of the leg and I'll be like, what was that? So yeah, that's why I put it on the front. It's just easier access to. It doesn't get as dirty back there too, right? Your water, you want to keep it as clean as possible. But that's basically the methodology for all this. The nerves are starting to float away a bit, which is so good. The mission this year is very ambiguous. It's very vague, even to me right now. I'm going to learn about the mission as I go out there. Much different from every other year. There's no actual location that we're going to for the mission. Like, yeah, last year we went to Shag Harbor. The year before we went to Mull River. The year before that, we went to Gold Mine Road. But this year we don't have anything like that. So the best thing that I've got for me to do is just kind of follow the song like we've been doing all year round. All season long we've been talking about that one theme, the theme of song. Where songs and nature can lead us, and I don't know. Maybe the song of the Siren will lead us into some trouble. Maybe it'll lead us into adventure. I hope the latter. Anyway, we ride tomorrow. I'll see you out on the road. Until then, take care, Island Riders.